What's going on, gamer? So I saw a video up by Doc Dark that just launched 26 minutes ago. I've seen it, most of it. Funny video. So the interesting thing about this is that he's saying that Sony games are going to Game Pass. Now I know why he did this headline too, because it's pretty funny. Because the thing is he's trying to strong on opponents because he's making them think that he knows it in their mind. Man, it ain't coming to Game Pass right now. Don't you know? He's just trying to get that reaction. And I think it's funny. So we're gonna get into this. This gets very interesting. Now, here's my take about what I think about what he thinks about this real quick. Do I think it's possible that Sony games could go to Game Pass day one? No, not day one. And what I mean by this is what what's his face said about Helldivers 2. That's not going to Game Pass day one. It's all about optimizing title profitability. It's all about pure profit. So hear me out. What that means is that if Sony ain't putting it on their service, they damn sure ain't putting it on Game Pass first. Now, any games that you see that Sony has on Plus means that they possibly could play that type of game with Game Pass. This is my take on it. And what I think about that is I think that he has a similar take too, to a certain extent. Is that first we're going to see what you're going to buy. First, Helldivers is the real test. We're going to see, what type of any type of profit. I think at this point, Sony is taking any profit they can get now. This is very clear now, and they're not struggling because of that. Come on, guys, record profits. These companies ain't struggling. They're doing this because these new guys, like I said before, business oriented. I've said this months ago. They're all about the most money now. Even if they have enough, it doesn't matter. I mean, you see what Microsoft and Nvidia are doing. So that's what this really is about. And it's not going to damage PlayStation because people ain't buying it for third parties anyways. So y'all should just not get too mad at this. Definitely if you had your experience. But let's get into this. It's interesting. I want to explain my part so we can get into this Game Pass stuff. Here we go.
I wasn't ready. The camera just turned on. What's up, everybody?
What's
Dr.
up,
Dog
bro?
185. There's levels to this. Hey, not like this. Not like this. Not on a Friday night. Oh my God, Sony, what are you
Saturday
doing?
now, bro.
All right. Some of you might not know what I'm laughing about. This is what I'm laughing about. I don't know how it happened. I just saw it leaked. I was at dinner with the family tonight. And then when I got home, watching show, whatever, I happened to get on phone, see what's going on Twitter. And boy, oh boy, a whole bunch of "I told you so," "I can't believe it," all this other stuff. I was like, "What is this?" And I click on this one screenshot of a page of an advertisement of Sony. They're looking for somebody to help them go even more multi-plat, and they
Yeah,
specifically mention Xbox. You see, it's not like the old that video that I made a long time ago saying that PlayStation was gonna put games on Xbox. Remember when I said it when I was sitting in Florida and I had the Mickey Mouse shirt on? Remember when I said that, right?
I wasn't watching him then, but I believe him. He's a cool guy. I like what he represents too. Um, yeah, that's the thing with that. I told people when I saw that they were putting Helldivers on Xbox, what that meant is a sign for everything. They're coming to Nintendo too. Watch. I was right. I told people that if you go and watch my videos, you'll say, guys, this means it's coming to the Switch too. Get ready as well. Because Sony is trying to make maximum profit on live service. 100% happening, y'all. What I mean by that is that every PlayStation live service game is coming day and date to Xbox and Nintendo. I think Sony will do day and date with live service future games. Marathon was the first sign. That's why I've seen it when I saw that. I was like, so you're doing Marathon on PlayStation? Okay. I mean, on Xbox, then that means you'll put any other shooter live service because it would only make sense. I've said this in a lot of my videos. It makes sense the demographic, like a Bungie shooter, Helldivers. I'm like, yeah, man. So why would you not put that on the Switch too? Yeah, I mean, when I saw, it, I was like, okay, that 100% is for sure. What I didn't clarify is 100% for sure day and date for single player games. No way, they're not gonna do that. But could there be a possibility of them coming after and then trying the same thing day and date on Xbox and then trying Game Pass possibly after that if they put it on their service? I'm not against that. That's up for grabs now. I think so.
It wasn't like that
I
video
got my
because in that
experience.
video The dude said we're gonna put games on other platforms like PC, and smart people like me understood.
Yeah.
Other platforms like PC means not just PC, right? No, 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 no. They literally mentioned Xbox. Help us go multi-plat and put games on Xbox. Now,
And what he's talking about is right over here, y'all. Multi-platform strategy. And you had long-term revenue growth and audience reach. Uh-huh. Team leadership for multi-platform strategy. Sales and planning. You see, it's all right there. And then they want people too. You got a minimum of 10 years of experience to even get involved in this. I'm taking this very serious. Deep commercial instincts. Skilled collaborator across creative, business, and technical functions. Balanced short-term execution, but they want long-term vision with that. Somebody can get right to it. So we get this right here about what they're saying. And guys, they're paying people $246,000 to $369,000 a year to do this type of job. This is a serious job. 401k, pay time off, all that. That's all going to be happening here. So this right here is very, very clear on what they want to do, and you can apply for it right now. So they're very serious about it when they say right here, lead platform relationships across PC and console ecosystem, Steam, Xbox, Nintendo, ensuring strong collaboration, promotional effectiveness, and performance optimization. They want to get this going and make this a business, kind of like how they have Nixus doing games on PC and have a separate thing while PlayStation is being unaffected, the main team, and they got these people they're hiring doing all that work for Xbox and Nintendo, and they're just bringing in profit, is just coming in looking at it as extra profit, not looking at it any other way.
I'm excited to see how people are going to spend this. But here's the reality, okay? This is bigger than putting games on Xbox. No, 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 no. Sony is going to put games day and date on Gamepass. Oh, just wait. They won't start right off the bat with day and date. No, 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 no.
Yeah, that's 100% not going to happen because it doesn't make any sense, like I was saying before. First, you're going to have to see those games be on their Plus service. If they're not putting on their Plus service and they're bringing it to other platforms, they're interested in pure profit. We just got to look at this the right way. I don't think his way is necessarily wrong. I think also, too, he's trying to mess with PlayStation gamers because he likes to troll both sides. And I get his take. I'm not arguing against him, by the way, or trying to slam him down. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that for Sony, first, it's all about pure profit. Now, if Microsoft throws them an insane deal, like we've seen MLB get on there, even though I know that's a different team, but still, like I said, I'm not shooting that down. I just don't day and date. That would have to be PC first. And it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even then, it's interesting now.
They're going to make you feel comfortable, and they'll put games that have already dropped, right? They'll start putting those on Game Pass. Why would they not get that Game Pass bag, okay? Now, all you got to do is think about this logically, okay?
Okay.
Xbox has a lower user base than does PlayStation if you're just looking at consoles, right? For sure.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Game Pass subscribers, they probably have a lower user base, but we're not really sure because they don't really show the numbers, right? What we think is something like 35 million is what people are saying, right? Okay. But what we do know is that depending on how your game is, everyone gets a different Game Pass deal, right? I think Sony could probably leverage, right, especially for their games that people aren't going to keep playing or buying, a pretty decent Game Pass deal for some of their older games. Could you imagine?
Okay, yeah, because first he said day and date. I'm like, if PC never got that, they're not going to do that on console. It doesn't make any sense. That's like saying if Microsoft had that next console too, here's my first party games day and date. Now you could have it at PC day one, the max settings, and even in that hybrid over there, and it's going to be on a Nintendo. Dude, they would kill their market. That's not going to happen. That's literally suicide. Now, will they bring some games that are like I said, if you think about Infamous Second Son, that's been sitting there idle on PlayStation from PlayStation 4 era for the longest, right? Infamous First Light, all those PS4 games just sitting there. They're not moving anything. Now, if you put all those over on the Switch, Yoshida even said this a while ago. That's how I knew that was possible because he said the same thing. And then it's like, yeah, that's free money on Xbox. That's free money on Nintendo. You know what I mean? What's wrong with that? Spider-Man PS4, you see what I mean? It's not moving anything anymore. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. But that would come day one to those platforms to try to sell, and then they would probably take the bag after that if it didn't sell. Could there be a possibility of like, look, man, you don't buy games over here, so let's see if Xbox give me the Game Pass bag because of that. For certain games that maybe may not sell and they're at a discount, I'm not against that. That could be possible. I'm just not trying to jump the gun like a fool yet and say stuff like that. I'm not saying he is, but what I mean is like day one Game Pass. Yeah, I don't know about that. If the game is just coming out on PlayStation the same day. Now, if he meant differently, okay, like if it's an old game coming day and day Game Pass, I can understand that. But if he means like the same day that it's coming out on PlayStation, no way, man. Y'all gonna have to wait on that, and then it'll come to PC, and then it'll come to Xbox. It's more like the flagship games. Because that has to be a timed deal. It's the same game now, except they're just concluding Nintendo and Xbox, and day and date will be live service. I'm telling you, any live service is day and date across all. I don't think that's not happening, and I've been telling people that.
And God of War on Game Pass. The Last of Us.
Yeah.
The Last of Us bundle on Game Pass. Oh yeah. Listen.
But what you see, that's flagship though. That's like coming to Sony saying, I'm putting Forza for Plus. No, bro. If you're going to put something like that, they're going to try to get as much profit as possible because they're going to take that serious. Like Last of Us on game. I don't know if Sony want to devalue their games to look like that for a Game Pass model. I'm not sure about that. I'm not saying I'm not saying no, but I'm saying I don't know if they want to do that. I think they still got some arrogance against the base to look at it like that. This is me though, not because I wouldn't want to happen, because I just don't know if Sony's going to do that. Now, if it happens, I'm gonna be laughing. I'm not. You're not gonna see me get mad.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
He says it's gonna happen.
Some of you are already typing in the comment section trying to disagree with me, but you don't realize how stupid you are because PlayStation
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I don't know.
Pass.
Yeah.
MLB The Show is a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is. And I get it. It was published by MLB.
Yeah.
But PlayStation made it.
Yeah, Sony didn't want that to happen. That's why they ended up taking that away, but it still happened. It's a good point. And I've talked to people about that before too. MLB right now is on sale on the Switch too, being advertised right on the eShop. It's funny. So I kind of think like there's little snippets to give you the idea that these new guys, they're not thinking like those other guys. They're all about business and profit. Of course, those guys are still about PlayStation. That'll still happen, first and foremost. They're still going to do some things that are going to piss you off. Watch. But this right here is just cool for people who've never got those experiences. I think for the majority of the gaming community, most people had a PlayStation and PC. Nintendo, PlayStation, and PC. Like, if you look at the demographic purchase, so for most of us, it's like, oh, I've been doing this on my PC. I mean, oh, I've been had a PlayStation 5 every generation, so... but for the people outside of that, and for the people growing up now, and also people that are struggling that can afford multiple consoles, yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm you know, that's cool. I'm not going to be one to beat down that idea. I think that's what makes this more cool than anything. Now, as far as about like platforming and console wars and all that, you know, whatever.
So there was a PlayStation game on Game Pass already.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just published by somebody else, but it was made by PlayStation. Now. PlayStation is probably thinking, wait a minute, we made this game. MLB is the one that got the Game Pass deal and made that money when we could do it. Why are we not getting that Game Pass money? PlayStation is sitting back looking at Forza Horizon 5 destroying Astrobot. I know it makes you mad, but you see, you idiots didn't think that it mattered. Doc, why are you comparing Forza Horizon 5 to Astrobot? Because it matters. It's all about money to them. And a game like Forza Horizon 5 is outselling the game of the year. So guess what that tells Sony? Now Sony knows game of the year doesn't mean anything. Why do they care to make a...
Because it wasn't real. It didn't feel like it. Like, I feel like game of the year should also be a consensus to where everybody's saying, man, bro, this is game of the year. You know what I mean? But they're playing it and they're loving it. Everybody's talking about it. You don't think about it. You're going to hit that buy button. Everybody's copying it. Everybody's talking about it. It's selling millions. You feel that. You shouldn't have to be convinced or anything. It's just an automatic thing. Like when Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3 were winning Game of the Year awards on all those other websites and they were going head to head. I was like, damn, man, somebody got it up there to battle against Nintendo. It's very interesting. Claire at Expedition 33 is another game like that, but with $49.99. I like that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And if it won Game of the Year and Donkey Kong didn't get it, I wouldn't hate, because I know DK is going to get Game of the Year awards anyways. And there's so many sites that are doing that. But the thing is that you feel that it's so epic. You know what I mean? And it's the first time I've ever seen a game win Game of the Year where everybody just realizes that no. And you see those other games that didn't get it. And when you saw a recent Game of the Years, man, they all sold 10 million real quick. The whole world was playing it. Everybody was just on board with Astro Bot. It's one of the first games where it's like, why is there like 1.5 million people buying this like this? This ain't shaking the whole world. Ain't everybody running to buy it. You know what I mean? It was a 9-hour game and 70% of it was Mario. And I'm not beating down the game because of that, but I'm just saying, and you had other Nintendo mechanics. How was that Game of the Year? Did you see it get Direction of the Year? I was like, oh my God. Geoff, bro, get Sony's like dick out your mouth, bro. Like, and I have to say it because how could a game like Astro Bot, where Mario made most of the game, get Direction? Guys, what you think about Direction of the Year over something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, over something like Metaphor, over something like Wukong, where they directed 60 to 50 straight hours of scenes with voice acting, with music, with characters, with writing, with epic plots. When you think about Final Fantasy, when you think about Metaphor, 70-hour games doing all that. And Astro Bot, you ain't got none of that going on, directing on every scene like that. It's a joke, man. It's a slap in the face. When I seen that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, do you know what it takes to direct a game like a JRPG like that for 70 hours? It's a little 9-hour game where Mario made most of it. He ain't saying nothing. Bro, it's a joke. Everybody knows it. I just still couldn't believe it. And it's right in front of your eyes, just robbing people, man. It's like, damn, bro.
The Game of the Year when a racing game that you guys downplayed is outselling their game.
Because it was like that.
Their only comeback is, hey, we got to put our games also on more platform. Microsoft went like this. Damn, look at PlayStation with all those users. I wish we had all those users playing our games. And then Satya Nadella said, well, why don't we have all those users playing our games? And Xbox executives were like, well, all those users don't have our console. And then Satya Nadella probably said, but they have a console that could play our games.
Let's do what third-party developers do. I mean, come on, guys. Don't troll them too much. That's what he's doing, though. They're not doing anything genius, bro. It's like, welcome to the club now.
Yes, but our games aren't on that console. Well, why not? That's called running.
That's because you have to. I know there's going to be some people that are mad. I can't wait to see Reforge's reaction. I can't wait to see... Well, MVG, I think, is going to be cool about it. But it's going to be more interesting seeing the more hyperactive. I actually seen some funny stuff. Don't worry, we're going to get some videos on that. But let's get back and let Doc finish what he had to say, though.
A problem to ground, right? Well, why not? Well, because then we lose the identity of what the Xbox is. And Satya Nadella was probably like, get out of here. The identity is the Benjamins. Put those games over there. And man, they put the games over there and it worked. And it worked. This generation has been all about these companies just chasing a bag. Microsoft went chasing the bag with Game Pass and the multi-plat strategy. PlayStation went chasing the bag with live service strategy. One of these companies right now is actually succeeding. It is as clear as day. I don't care what you say. It is as clear as day that console sales is not enough.
It is. They're just greedy. Record profits. Made more money than they ever have. PlayStation, more money in history. Idle MTX Vampire. No, they're doing this because they just want more money. It's simple. He's right about that. They want more money, but they're not struggling. That's a lie. Because even the stuff they canceled got funded by EGS and all that nonsense. Nintendo's not doing it, and they're making less money than both because they're not bending the knee and they're not surrendering and they're not getting that greedy, and they refuse to do that. They said it. The day Nintendo goes third party, Nintendo is done. And it's funny the way they think, but yeah, bend the knee. They won. Game over. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Good video, Doc. I like your content, bro. But one thing I'm going to say is Sony's not doing this because Sony is struggling. No, they're not doing this because those guys want more money. And they're going to take as much money as they can get. Nintendo don't want as much money as possible. Everybody been knew this. There's things where I'd be like, bro, why didn't you drop the price? You could sell more. They're going to be Nintendo. They're funny. But I respect it, though, because they're loyal to the game and they don't change. You know how it is about that. Loyal to the game, don't change. Yeah. Let's keep it real over here. Like, comment, subscribe. You have a great day. Peace out.